Hello, hope you're well and welcome back. We've got the bike back. Those who've been watching the channel will know it's been gone away. It's been gone away for about a week now, but now it's back. They've done, and Delkevic have done all the measurements so that they can start producing stuff for this. Primarily, the thing that they've got to do is they've got to make a decap pipe for it. We had hoped that it was going to be pretty much a bolt-on from the Meteor. They do a range of exhausts for the Meteor already, and we hope that it'd pretty much just be a Meteor exhaust, but that hasn't proved to be quite as simple as we first thought. So what we're looking at here is we've got a DNA air filter fitted on that side. We've got the standard Royal Enfield downpipe going into the pre-production decap pipe with the original heat shield on the top of it, so you can't tell that's fitted. And we've got a short bull nose silencer fitted. Now, if you're looking at this and thinking, oh, that's all wonderful, I'd love to do this, but I really hate that silencer, that's really no issue, because the range of silencers that they do is pretty big, and you can choose whether you want it short, long, whether you want a slash cut or a megaphone type silencer. That's up to you. You can choose that. This is one that they happen to have that I quite like the look of. Just as incidentally, they did say that this is quite short, and they did say that the shorter the silencer, it tends to be the louder the bike, which sort of makes sense, doesn't it? But it's so if this was too noisy, a bit longer one might do a better job for you. You know, personally, it is noisier. In fact, I'll put the video up now. I've got a little video of it just ticking over in the drive in its standard form before it went in, and in its latest form in this form. So just have a look at this and see what you think about this. Now, I'm not sure if I've mentioned, but when it first went in, we were all pretty hopeful that it would be a very quick day or two job, because essentially it was going to be a Meteor exhaust that was going on to it, but that hasn't proved to be the case. The downpipe is very, very similar, but the cat is very, very different. And the silencers really don't matter, because anyone in the range of silencers that they do will go on. Or you can even put it back, of course. You can put the standard, so you can have the decat and put the standard silencer back on if you like the look of the standard silencer, but that might blunt performance back down a bit. But what I think it is, it's finding a happy medium. If you go down this route, it's finding what's right for you, what sounds right, what looks right, and what feels right for you. I am hopeful when I get out tomorrow that there'll be a noticeable increase in performance. Whether that happens or not, I don't know at this stage. And what they have said is, well, when we get the production samples back in a couple of weeks, I'm going to take it back. By then, it'll be fully running, because incidentally, it's not fully running just at the moment, but it's not far off. And we're going to put it on the dyno. So I'll take it in its standard form, and then we'll run it on the dyno, see what it comes up with in real life, and then we'll put the full exhaust on, the DNA filter on, and we'll run it again, and we'll see what it is then, and see if there's sort of scientific proof that we've had a gain. They are expecting a gain in performance, but let's be honest, it's not going to be massive. I believe it's 20 brake horsepower at the crank, 15 brake horsepower at the rear wheel. 15 brake horsepower at the rear wheel. So, I mean, if we were to increase it 1.5 horsepower, Would that even 10%? That wouldn't be too bad, would it? A 10% increase in performance? I mean, I'd love to get a little bit more. But again, like I said, it's not really a performance bike. And quite frankly, if you wanted a performance bike, you wouldn't be buying this anyway. But it's just a little project, given the fact that they want to check the bike out and I'm getting the exhaust for free. So it's it's win-win for both of us. So tomorrow, when I can get out, when it's a bit better weather, when I've had my mudguard fitted, in the afternoon it's supposed to be reasonable. I'll take it for a couple of runs. I'll take it for one run. We all know how they run in the standard state. And we all know how they run, because I told you on the last video, with just in its standard state, but with just the DNA filter. I felt it was a little bit noisier from the induction roar, and there was a very marginal increase. It was there, but it was only small. I'm not sure if, to be honest, let me be brutally honest, if I was going to do that and do that alone, I probably wouldn't bother with just a DNA filter, because I couldn't notice anything major. It was so minor. I think there was an improvement, but as I said at the time, it was marginal. It was, and I'm hoping that with this, the second stage of the equation, if you like, the exhaust. So we've increased the breathing. If I can increase the exhaust as well, hopefully I will get something that I can genuinely quantify and genuinely feel, rather than just a bit more noise and the placebo effect of thinking, oh well, it's more noisy, so it must be going quicker. That's not always necessarily true, is it? But a little bit down the line, in a few weeks, we can get this on the dyno in its standard state and in its new state, if you like. So that'll be interesting to see. But if you, a bit later on in this vid, I'll have those on. So I'll be able to show you what I feel it's like on the road. As far as the sound's concerned, it's very difficult to pick up, isn't it? It's difficult to listen to a YouTube video and genuinely see if there's any difference in noise levels. It's certainly noisier, absolutely. And to my mind, this setup it's deeper, and it sounds, this is going to sound crazy, but it sounds like an old British bike. And it will do, won't it? Because it is an old British bike. And this old British bike hasn't got the cat in it anymore and is breathing better. So it's much more akin to the bikes that it was based on in the 50s and 60s and 70s, before Euro 3, 4, 5 and 6 strangulated the engines to meet emissions and fuel consumption desires. Hello. So enough waffle. We're out on it now. I've just come up the road, just gone around the corner from where I live, and we're going for a little ride out now. The current setup that I've got on it is we've got the stop downpipe. Essentially, we've decatted it, so the cat's gone. The new link pipe, the new decat pipe is in, and the standard Royal Enfield silencer is on. We've also got the DNA air filter fitted. Now, to my mind, this could be the sweet spot for most people, probably for me as well, because when I get back, incidentally, I'm just on my way up to the garage now to get if anybody's seen me sagas with the mudguard and the warranty claim, well, that's where I'm off to now. It's the appointed day and time has arrived, and I'm going to go for a little quick ride out, but to assess this exhaust combination. But we can end up at the garage, and they're going to fit me new mudguard, which is good news. Now, as far as this is concerned, I mean, it's still early days. I've only had it a second or two, but let's have a go. Let's have it. I don't know if you can hear it. Let's have a listen. So there we have it. A bit more noise, but in my view, not too much noise. with the stock silencer on. That to me sounds like the sweet spot that I spoke about just a few minutes ago. Performance wise, has there been an increase? Very early, but you know, I think there has. With the DNA filter and the decap pipe, all of a sudden, I was saying yesterday that with the air filter, just changing the air filter probably don't bother. But if you're going to change the air filter and the decat, now all of a sudden it's beginning to make sense, and I do genuinely feel that there's a bit more shove there. Now, we know it's not going to increase the top end, we fully understand that, but there seems to be, in very modest terms, an increase. And to my mind at least, it does sound better, but it's not so loud, it's not sort of obnoxiously loud. So I'm just arriving up at the dealership now, I'm not far off, and having ridden for 10-15 miles, I would say that this is definitely an improvement. So I've gone from it being with just the DNA filter in, I've gone from it being a marginal improvement to what I would say is a noticeable improvement. As I said before, it's never going to be, you know, I was talking about if I could add 10%, it'd be worthwhile. And it's certainly smoother, it's running smoother, it's sounding better, but not too horrible, not too loud. And yeah, I think this is a definite improvement and worthwhile, but I wouldn't go down the route of just doing the DNA filter, because I don't think it's worthwhile. There's not enough noticeable gains. So if you're going to do it, do both. If you're just going to do the DNA, don't bother. That's my view. Okay, so I'll go in now and get me my mudguard sorted. I might mention these clocks because my clocks are steaming up as well, and I don't know if they'll do anything because they've already told me I'm not having a warranty because I self-serviced it, but I don't know, might be worth asking, just see what they say. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Okie dokie, so we're back home now. So let's get this bike in and the D&K, the Delkevic silencer on it, and see if that makes any difference. Okay, so this is just the obligatory 10 to 15 minutes running and resetting of the ECU now that we've got the Delkevic silencer on. Then we'll go for a blast and see if it makes any proper difference. Oh! Good boy. We've got the full fat version on now with the relatively short bullnose silencer, and as expected I've driven about a mile and pulled up here so I don't put you on. It is maybe just a step too far for me, just a little bit too noisy. Let's have a go. Okay, this is quite a steep hill and it's pulling up fine, it really is. Noisy, whoa, noisy, noisy, noisy. You definitely need your earplugs with this one on. Yeah, bit too noisy for me, bit too antisocial. You'd be scaring all the horses in the fields riding past with this, and you know, possibly making yourself a target. So, but you know, performance-wise, it's a strange one. Like I was saying, I think you can do various things to increase the performance if you want to. DNA filter, decat, and silencer. Do you know, I would suggest that the DNA filter on its own wouldn't be really worthwhile. I think the main one is the decat. That did noticeably improve performance for me. If you did it in conjunction with the DNA filter, I think that works. Now this, the silencer, it does feel a little bit better still. So I'm not dismissing the silencer at all. If that's what you want, if you want to go down this route, it's just a bit too noisy for me, a bit too antisocial. So I'm prepared to live with the original silencer that comes with the bike and just the decat and the DNA air filter. I think they work. This for me is just a step too far. Now it might not be for you, it might be exactly what you're looking for, and as I've said before, there's numerous silencers available. It might be that we can get a quieter one, but I think, as I alluded to earlier, the sweet spot for me is the DNA air filter and decat, but that won't be the same for everybody. coming to the end of this one now. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below or give me a thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe if you found something of value. So in the meantime, ride safe, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye.